new year 2017, and so I am going to make a list of everything I need to do to have a happy, healthy, best year ever. Number one, healthy eating. I better break that down into some subheadings. A would be make green smoothies every day, get my vitamins. B would be drink more water. Cut right down on sugar. Chocolate is not a meal. Eat more raw food. So number two would be exercise, the dreaded E word. So what am I going to do? Well, I might try a little bit of yoga. I think maybe gentle movement and stretching would be helpful. That tap into my spirituality. Yeah. So I'm going to need to go for a run or do something that makes me move faster and build muscles, because I'm getting old and losing my muscle tone. I need to get out in the fresh air, get outside. I also need to meditate, still my mind, meditate. Meditation, really, really important for every day. Have fun every day. That's probably like going to be a bit tricky because I've got quite a lot of time taken up with yoga, meditation, making my green smoothies. Well, I need to make 10 minutes a day for fun. 10 minutes, put that in, 10 minutes, must have 10 minutes a day for fun. I need to even think about what is fun, what is fun, find out in 2017. Self-care. Yeah, like have a nice bath, although I might not be able to do it until about 11:30 p.m. by the time I've done all of that and had some fun, and I do have to work. Somehow I've got to find time to enjoy my loved ones. Oh God, well, I need to make a timetable. Oh. Did I mention drinking more water? That means I need to go buy a water filter. Mustn't drink tap water. Must not drink tap water. Buy water filter. Drink more good water whilst also making green smoothies and doing yoga. Oh, I think sleep's also quite important for well-being. Hi there, I was asked to make a video about a blueprint for healthy living in the year ahead, because this is a time of year when I guess we all give some thought to our habits and wanting to improve the quality of our lives and kind of just feel better in the year ahead. And I got to put my hand up now and say I feel a bit naughty making this video because I can only be totally honest about me. And many a year I've sat down and made lists of things I wanted to do, set my intention, and they've all been genuine, heartfelt intentions of knowing that the way I was living my life was not really helping me at all to fulfil my potential in terms of being healthy or being happy and fulfilled. And so I've wanted over the years to try and do stuff to be a better person, or to improve my own well-being, or to be a better mum for my kids, whatever it might be. But I just get overwhelmed basically after a week or two with the sense of all that I need to try and do to look after myself, and it becomes a huge pressure. So I wanted to kind of say something different that is my personal angle on a blueprint for healthy living. That might just be something that if you, like me, feel overwhelmed or struggle with the idea of like setting intentions for the new year or wanting to take on a whole raft of healthy habits, if you're feeling overwhelmed by that or feel like you may not be able to keep it up, then what's one thing that I can do this year that will change my life. And for me, it's simply this: I need to lose my fear so that I can be more truly myself. Because when I'm myself, I am happy and I am healthy and I am living my life the way I'm meant to live my life. And therefore everything flows with ease. And that's an easy thing to say, isn't it? It's not. It's such an easy thing to actually know how we put that into practice. But I just wanted to share with you one little section from a book that if you buy a book this year with your Christmas money over, I really recommend this one, Diana Herself by Martha Beck. It's a novel, in inverted commas, an allegorical novel. It's about a woman who is in a dead-end job, you know, going nowhere, struggling for money, being poorly treated, etc., etc., and her life all falls apart, and she basically has to go through what you might think is the most horrific ordeal of being stranded out in the wild with no help and no support, in order to find her true self again and connect with her as she really is. And it happens partly by meeting a wild boar who can talk, which of course is perfectly fine. And the boar says to her, just like any civilised person, you've spent practically your whole life torturing an innocent wild creature. Starved it, then force-fed it, cut it, cursed it, driven it to exhaustion, imprisoned it with other creatures who tormented it. And Diana says, what? I don't even kill spiders, I've never wanted to hurt anything. And the boar says to her, I refer, my darling, to you. And that's been my experience, is that most of us really end up beating ourselves up about our unhealthy lifestyles, our negative beliefs and thought patterns, our blame and judgment of ourselves, our lack of stillness, our lack of time to be with our loved ones. We beat ourselves up about all of this because the bottom line is that our lives are being lived out of sync with who we really are and who we long to be. And to dare to begin to dip our toe into the water of discovering who we were really born to be, what we really long to do, how we really feel about stuff, is actually really scary, because it may threaten our existence as we know it. All our security, all our kind of familiar things that we rely on, our jobs, our homes, our relationships, everything might potentially be up for change if we actually follow this path. But you know what? I want to say from the bottom of my heart that there isn't really another way to live. So my main blueprint for healthy living this next year is that I just want to really squarely face my fear, all my fear of the unknown, of having to face up to what I really feel about stuff, and then where that might lead me in terms of what I have to do and what I might have to lose or put down or walk away from, or how people might react to me if I don't behave how they expect. I need to face my fear of that squarely and fully, and find ways of stilling it and coming to peace about being more and more and more myself. Because when I am myself, when I listen to myself, when I love myself, when I tune in to myself and trust my instincts and my intuition, then I know that I make good choices about how I treat my body, how much sleep I get, how I spend my time in terms of being around people who are good for me and healing and positive, rather than being in places and around stuff that makes me feel negative and almost poisoned. And I take care of myself because I listen to what the real me is telling me I need. And as a result, I have more energy and I have more to give, and I become a person who's kind of moving easily through life, fulfilling my destiny much more effortlessly. But there's so much fear to be dealt with first, isn't there? I don't want to underestimate that. But for me, that's what the thing is in 2017. My blueprint for healthy living is simply to face my fear of being myself and to do whatever it takes to still the fear so that I may become ever more the real me. Wishing you all a very happy and healthy 2017. Very much love.